Hello all, I have some exciting news to share today. Today we are super thrilled to announce our brand new product, Turbo360. It's not actually a brand new product, it's kind of we are rebranding one of our product called Serverless360 into Turbo360. I just thought I'll give you a backstory of why we are doing this, the reasoning we have behind this. We started the company back in 2011 from Desktop 360. We focused on the product for nearly 5 years. Around 2016 is when we thought, okay, the product is matured and the company is pretty matured, and what is going to be our next steps. So at that point, we decided to go venture into Microsoft Azure because Azure is coming up nicely well, and we are part of a big Microsoft ecosystem all the time. So it was natural progression for us to get into Microsoft Azure. Azure being brand new, we of course found a lot of gaps here and there. Microsoft cannot fill all the gaps what the customers want, and we found some gaps around mainly around Microsoft Azure Service Bus. So the tooling around the product was not good, and then we found this a great opportunity to build a great product around the Azure Service Bus area. We built it and then we went to the market, and then only we realized that the market is not big enough. It's almost like you wanted to climb a mountain. You thought you're climbing Mount Everest, but only halfway through then you realized, okay, there's nothing much more to climb. At the same time, Azure was adding more and more capabilities, right? They added logic apps, they added API management, event bus, the event grid, stream analytics, bunch of other serverless-based, PaaS-based offerings. And again, we noticed, okay, people building applications become pretty simple now because people use all these different offerings from Azure and build it like a Lego blocks, and then they construct their application. But once it comes to the day-to-day support and operations and monitoring these applications become really cumbersome because the only option you have is using the Azure management portal. But the management portal is designed in a way it's very technical. You need like a super advanced expert people to work in the management portal. So typically what happens in any organization, including us, is you provide Azure management portal access only to a limited set of people. So whenever there's a problem, you need these expert people to come and solve the problem, because you cannot give it to your first line support or second line support due to the nature of the Azure portal. So this is one of the biggest gap what we saw, and that is where we introduced our first module in Serverless360 called business applications. And then we went to the market, and then we acquired bunch of customers, and still a lot of customers are using this business application, still core part of the product. And once we are doing that, then we come across another problem called distributed tracing, so end-to-end traceability of messages, which is a very common paradigm when you're coming from an integration background, and especially from BizTalk background. Business activity monitoring is one of the key aspects of any end-to-end integration solutions, because your solution, say for example a purchase order system, right? It might start from a front-end web application, it might get into a service bus queue, and then to some storage, and then it might get into a logic apps for processing and calling bunch of API management, and then finally writing it to SAP system. This is a typical flow of a purchase order in lot of organizations. How do you manage the end-to-end traceability? Like, what happened to your purchase order from start to finish, right? It's a problem. And what happens is, lot of times customers custom build solutions. They put some kind of a logging solution, write it to some database, and then you need to put a front end for it. You need to build a very rich search capabilities, and then you need to have things like a resubmit, and then failed message monitoring, and all those things gets cumbersome. So that is where we introduced our second module called business activity monitoring, and then we matured that offering for some time. And then after some time, another situation comes. How do you you have built your technical documentation and diagrams for your Azure infrastructure, because your Azure footprint is getting bigger and bigger. Like companies got multiple tenants, multiple subscriptions, and thousands of resources. At some point, they need to have some kind of visibility of documentation of those Azure infrastructure itself. And that is when we introduced our third module called Azure Documenter. And finally, so we being a company with multi-product B2B companies, we have multiple SaaS products ourselves. Like we got a couple of products outside the Microsoft ecosystem called Document 360 and Churn 360, and we ourselves are biggest users of Azure. Typically, our Azure bill goes up by anywhere from 2 to 5% month on month, because we are acquiring a lot of customers, and also our existing customers using more and more resources like storage and CDN, etc. So every month we see more and more companies. Our Azure footprint increases month on month. So over the last 4 years or so, like we learned a lot. Like how does the Azure costing work? And every month we have a consolidation meeting, and then during that meeting, like a lot of things we optimize. It's a combination of tooling, process, and policies. So that we thought it's a big gap, because a lot of companies they know like it's a lot of wastages when it comes to your Azure cost. Typically, like we have seen like typically you can save anywhere from 30 to 30% easily if you keep optimizing your Azure cost. And that's exactly what happened, and we built our fourth module called Azure Cost Optimizer. So given, like over the years, nearly 7 years is a journey of Serverless360. It's a long period, and we keep on building valuable tools and offerings around Azure, on Microsoft Azure. So this is where we thought, at this point, the name Serverless360 is a bit misleading. It's not conveying what we are doing. People sometimes think it's some kind of serverless offering similar to Azure Functions or Lambda, something like that. Or in some cases, they think it's more like some kind of a hosting product. So this is where we thought, okay, we need to do some rebranding, and then we thought about it, and then today we are super happy to reveal Turbo360. So Turbo360 now clearly aligns with our mission for the offering. So it's basically a cloud management platform. And also we wanted to stick to Azure for time being, because we feel it's not possible to serve all the cloud providers, because we need to go a bit deeper in terms of providing value to our customers. So we are going to stick with Azure for some time until we find, this market is so big and there's so many customers to offer. So we are not going to go wider, but we are just going to go deeper and deeper into Azure and offer better value for our customers. So this is where we are, and today, we're super excited to announce Turbo360. I hope you can take a look and see like what we are offering. I'm looking forward to seeing you as a customer at some point. Thank you.